The next thing that we're going to work on is, let's work on our frame, because that's a little bit more fun to work on. So what we have with this is this frame. Actually, I have it all written down. I can. So the frame itself is, this is 8 by 10, so 8 by 10. And the reason why I did it that size is because I wanted to have a 5 by 7, oh. See, I told you that wrong already. That's terrible. It's a 7 by 9. 7 by 9. And the reason for that is 7 going across so that we come in 1 inch, come in 1 inch, and it gives us a 5. This is 9, in 1 inch, in 1 inch. This is 7. So I wanted a 5 by 7 spot in there. So I can either put a picture in there or I can put some of the pattern paper. So basically what I do is I cut my chipboard, and then I go around, and I actually went right up against here on my mat, and I just went along and marked off an inch. Or if you can just make sure you're nice and flat there, you can take your Tim Holtz ruler. Oh, I've got it the wrong way for me. Take your Tim Holtz ruler and put that to the edge of your chipboard, and then just draw an inch. There is a line on the ruler. This dark line is 1 inch. So you just can match that up and mark that off and do an inch, inch, inch all the way around. And then what I'm doing is I'm going in and cutting this out. I did the 3 sides. One of the things that I've learned, and I know that you've probably heard this before because I heard it many times before too, and I didn't listen, but I did now. I will take my cutter, and I usually go fairly slow down on my first pass because it creates kind of a gutter. And you're probably saying, well, gosh, why don't you take your ruler? I find I have so much more problems with a ruler because the ruler slides, my hand slides. So if I just go slowly enough and I don't put this massive amount of pressure on my cutting blade, and I just make this pass a couple of times, I get through, and I have a pretty, usually I have a pretty straight line. Oh, I have some tape back there. So then I think I have tape there too. So then I have my frame, and it's cut out. And if I had any edges that might be bad, sorry again. I don't know what I did with it. I have a little file that I would file in along here, but now that I think about it, I don't really need to do that because we're going to cover this up as well. And so I cut out the frame before I mat it with the black paper. So I want to make sure that I have this pretty cleanly done. And you can use 1 inch here, 1 inch there. For something like this, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, and I'll cut off if I have to. But got a stray piece there. Let me just clean that up a second. And then what we'll do is that we will mat it going around, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. And I'm going to use you can use score tape, you can use your art glitter glue, whatever you want, and you feel will give you the best adhesion. So there we go. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll Get over about an inch there, come down about an inch. And if there's a little bit here, that's fine. It's not going to hurt anyone or anything. And even if it's not perfectly straight, it's not going to really hurt anything because you're actually going to be wrapping this. So actually, I probably should have just left that because I'm going to put that along the edges again. So the next step would be for covering the frame is to do just what you do with your mini albums again. Get nice and crisp. This is a thick piece or the medium weight chipboard. I had already cut this out at home before and brought it up here. So I did have heavy weight for this, not just the lightweight. So next we're gonna go and cut our edges. Okay, let's clean those all up a little bit because this we want really nice and trim for when we go around. I am amazed that we are already almost near the middle of August. I cannot believe it. I have actually been working from home since mid-March because I had been home for a couple days because I didn't feel too good, and then March was right about the time when they were talking about working from home. So the next week after that, my boss said, well, you know, since you didn't feel very good, how about if you just stay home for next week and let's see what's going to happen with working from home. And I'm like, okay, that works. So I was really excited about that. And if any of you really know me, you know that I am quite the homebody. I don't like to go and do a lot of things. I did a lot of that when I was younger and when I had my kids and, you know, running every night for sports and swimming and soccer and like theatrical stuff. And so now I just really enjoy being in my home. And I know some people will say that, well, whatever that is where you're afraid to go out. I'm not afraid to go out in any way. I will travel, I will fly, I will do all kinds of things, but I just enjoy being in my home. So the other thing that I've just really been enjoying is getting to know many of you ladies from these videos and from Country Craft Creations. Just what a wonderful group that is. I just have made I feel like I've made such a nice connection with different people. It's been fun. So, and you can see I'm not being majorly picky about what I'm doing or how I'm doing this. Just trying to get it nice and flat and solid. Okay, so we've got that all done and around, so that's our front. So the next thing that we're going to do is I am going to take, I probably will take my ruler on this just to maybe hold it a little bit better for myself, or just my cutter going across a little bit straighter. Okay. So I'm just going to cut an X in my paper, corner to corner on this side, and then corner to corner on this side, so that I can mat it to the back. And I'll have to cut some of it off, but we will just wrap it around. So basically I'm just going to take my cardstock and wrap it back and around, and I will cut off any of that excess and use my bone folder to kind of get me a nice fit. So pull those around, pull it really nice and tight, and we should have cut that so that we have a black matting all the way to our corners, hopefully. So let's just take a look. Looks pretty good. Maybe right here. Once you cut off those edges, it'll make it a little bit easier to get that really flat to the edges. And again, since this is on the back, it doesn't really matter how straight, just making sure it's wide enough to hold on the back, but not too wide that it hangs off the back. So I just come along and snip those edges off. These are good pieces of paper to hold on to make your little black dots out of, because you're not necessarily going to use them for a lot of other things, but lots of black dots. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start on this side, and I like to run my bone folder along that side just to make sure it's nice and clean and tight. And then and again, this is on the back, so we're putting adhesive on the back yet to pop this frame up a little bit. The other thing that, oh, and I didn't get it out, I'll have to get it out, is to put some plastic behind here. My first book that I did, here, let me just show you real quick. I actually used one of those file folders. It's an envelope, like a 9x14 office pocket. If you ever watched Jennifer McGuire, it's the same type of pocket that she uses to store her solid cardstock in. And the reason why I use that for this is because I really dislike when there's plastic in here and it glares. So, but I bought some clear plastic sheets, so I'm going to try that, I think, in this book, and see how that looks, and if it really bothers me as much as I thought it would, what I think it does. So I just don't like that glare, and so I'm going to try it with something else this time just to make sure that it'll work okay, and if I still don't like it, well then I'm just not going to use it again in the future. Okay. Boy, Tamara's had some great tutorials up this week. There was one that was like a tower gift box, and it's kind of round. It like rolls together, and there's little shelves in there where you can put a small gift in. It was really cute. And then today she had on Country Cry. Oh, did I say that was on Authentique? that one was on Authentique's Facebook page. But it should be on her YouTube channel as well. I think you can see the Authentique videos on there. But she also did one today on Country Craft Creations Facebook page and YouTube site. It was like a desk set. Now I didn't get to watch it because I was trying to get some things prepped and ready for this. And up north our connection's not very good and we don't have much bandwidth on our Wi-Fi. So, all right. So I think that's pretty good. The other thing though is that if you do have any spots that aren't as good, most of them will be just fine. Then you won't see them. You might be putting flowers. I might put this piece because I don't like it as well. At least for me, I don't like it as well. But if I have some chipboard showing, which I have a little bit here, but it'll be fine because I'm going to put some flowers up here and some flowers down here. So that'll fix that. So there's our frame. So the other thing that I did was I took the paper that I wanted to put on the outside of the, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. I did my vintage photo on the edges of the, you know what, I'm not going to do it all the way down, I don't think. I did that got them ready, and I put vintage photo on the wrong side. So we're going to be putting this paper along here. And what I did is I cut this out. These are 1 inch, 1 inch, and I did this 7/8 of an inch. And that's because I had forgotten that when I did it the last time, I actually made these strips 1 inch, because with all the wrapping, it actually makes the edges even a little bit larger. So just for ease of cutting, you could actually make these 1 inch and easily still have a part of your black showing because of the way that it's wrapped and edged and everything. So, alrighty. So with doing this, this is not my favorite thing to do because I find that I'm very clumsy doing it, but I'm going to start off with measuring this out and try to get it the right length. And you really want it to the edge of the frame so that you can make sure you're cutting your edges properly and I know it goes stem to stem, but I think I'm just going to leave it and see how it comes out with the directions, or you know how it does when I'm edging it. So then I get the other one ready for over here, and you want to make sure that you are matching that up where it's going to be, so that I'm not putting it down like this. I'm actually going to be angling those edges. And this is, again, this is not my favorite thing to do, because as I've said before, I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to doing things. Not that I do it perfectly, I just like it to be perfect. So, and we all know how easy that is to make things perfect, right? Not very easy. Gonna make these all the same lengths for my frame. And I think I'm gonna do that there and there. Take my little bits and pieces out, put those away, and then let's look at where we're at with. And what I did is I was trying to get, so if our picture frame is going to sit this way, I just want to look, because some of the flowers go in one direction or another, and I'll try to get them as good as I can. I probably should have put this one on the side, because it kind of looks like it's flowing along that way. So just want to lay this all out, and then I'll cut them, and I'll show you what I do with cutting. The other person that does this is, I mention her all the time, is Scrap Queen, and she does an amazing job, like she does with everything. And so if if mine doesn't work out very good, you know where you can go to do it to get a little bit better look at it. So I'm going to pull these pieces off, and then I'm going to match these two up again, and I want to match them up so that they're fitting nicely on this edge. And then I pick that up like that, and I just carefully cut to the center of the point. And oh, see, I confused myself. And so then that will be our corner piece from this edge to that edge. But you can see that they sometimes don't line up perfectly, and it may be because I put it on here incorrectly or something, but you know, you just have to do the best you can do. And like I said, this is not my favorite thing to do, so I'm going to cut a little bit of this end off. But all in all, once I have flowers down here, you're not even going to see it, so I'm not going to worry about it. But you will see the center, and that'll look good. So then we're going to take this one, and I'll put that down on there. And you know, the other thing is that honestly, I'm showing you how to do this. This is how I do it. If you guys have other ways of doing this that you think would work better or does work better, just let me know, because I would love to see it and learn even an easier way to do this. Thought about gluing it a little bit together and all kinds of things, but I don't know. I just haven't had luck with that. So I'm going to do this. Oh, you probably couldn't even see what I was doing, sorry. Come from the other end and see if that works a little bit easier with my edge. And yes, I think it did. So we've got that and that done. And now this is, especially the part I don't like, is when I have to do this end. So I'll do one side at a time, and we're going to do sorry if I'm out of screen, I apologize. And I always make sure that I do this so that it's all fitting together as I'm doing it, because I did it one time where I was cutting everything and oh my goodness, I couldn't figure out how they overlapped and how they actually worked. So my suggestion is to make sure you know which one ties with which one. All right, as our pieces go flying, there we go. And then these are our pieces along here. So then we can glue those down because our plastic is going on the back. I have edged these. Again, sorry if I'm off screen. I don't mean to. I just a little bit out of my comfort zone here with not at my regular desk, craft desk. The other thing is I really miss my chair, because my chair rolls back and forth, and this chair is a hard wooden chair. And as much padding as I have on my butt, it doesn't seem to keep it cushioned enough. So we're going to put that down like that. I know I've seen some people be able to cut these edges so that you get a little black edge or in between, but I've done that before and I haven't really gotten a good fit on it like that, so I'm just fitting them up together. I have a question for everyone. When you are crafting and you're putting a mini album and you're not following a tutorial, but you're just crafting on your own, are you the kind that has to finish one thing and then go to the next? Or do you continue, or do you go around and go, okay, I want to try this now, I want to try that now? How do you like to craft? And see, that doesn't put together very well. It cut nice and evenly, but this is off. Got to figure out how to do that better, and it's got to do something with the width of that. But again, I'm going to have some flowers along here, flowers up here, so maybe I put some down over here too, so it looks a little bit better. But you know, not many people are going to notice it that much. Crafters might, but other people I don't think will. So I'm not going to worry about it, because it's paper crafting and not rocket science. So there we go. That's our beautiful frame covered with our pattern paper, and we're going to put some plastic on the back. I'm going to run and go get that, and then I'll be back in a second.